For over a decade, Qualcomm drove the physical manufacturing of the smartphone revolution. Their silicon was the default engine inside the world's pocket computers. But by the early 2020s, that absolute dominance turned into a liability. The global smartphone market stopped expanding. Everyone who needed a phone had one. At the exact same time, Qualcomm's largest buyers decided they no longer needed a middleman. Apple aggressively pivoted to designing their own silicon in-house, cutting external suppliers out of the supply chain entirely. This exposed a severe flaw in the company's legacy sales model. Qualcomm relied heavily on massive B2B enterprise deals to maintain revenue. If a single mega client like Samsung or Apple walked away, the bottom line collapsed. This chart shows the total addressable market for mobile devices flatlining over time. But look at the adjacent sectors emerging from the bottom right. Edge AI, robotics, and automotive systems are all plotting exponential growth curves. To survive this plateau, iterating on phone chips was no longer enough. The company needed to rebuild its entire corporate architecture and transition into a platform for intelligent computing. The acquisitions between 2021 and 2026 followed a specific, logical progression rather than a search for opportunistic growth. They actively transitioned their core identity from a mobile component supplier to the foundational architect for intelligent computing across all devices. To understand how they pulled this off, we have to map these acquisitions onto a strict three-tiered technological stack: an IP base at the bottom, domain platforms in the middle, and a developer ecosystem capping the top. This specific framework gave them the exact tools they needed to break out of the mobile ecosystem and scale aggressively into entirely new markets. By reverse engineering this M&A stack, we can see exactly how a legacy mobile company engineered a multi-billion-dollar platform in automotive and robotics hardware. The first requirement was raw power. Qualcomm had to upgrade its core intellectual property to compete in high-performance computing, well beyond the low-power constraints of mobile batteries. In January 2021, they bought NVIDIA. This provided custom silicon for the Snapdragon X Elite, challenging Intel and AMD in PCs. Then, the 2025 AlphaWave Semi acquisition infrastructure for massive AI data centers. Finally, acquiring Ventana Microsystems locked down RISC-V architecture, completing their base computing tier. But having the fastest chips solves only half the problem. Raw silicon IP is useless without specific software domain contexts to apply that massive compute against. That brings us to the middle layer of the architecture: the software and platform systems required to make edge computing function in the real world. The most critical, lucrative application for this new domain-specific AI was sitting in the automotive sector. In April 2022, they purchased Arriver for advanced autonomous driving software. 3 years later, they bought Autotalks, securing vehicle-to-everything communication. Qualcomm then fused these technologies into a single cohesive product known as the digital chassis. This unified platform drove their automotive segment to a massive $45 billion pipeline by late 2025. Selling an integrated full-stack software and hardware chassis to Tier 1 automakers creates a structural lock-in that selling individual disjointed components never could. Still, one severe bottleneck remained in their legacy strategy. Qualcomm's high-performance silicon was historically locked behind enterprise minimum order quantities, making it invisible to startups and independent makers. In October 2025, Qualcomm acquired Arduino, effectively bypassing legacy enterprise sales barriers and reaching the source of hardware innovation directly. This instantly handed Qualcomm the direct mindshare of 33 million active developers. The hardware synergy was immediate. Launching the Arduino Uno Q board allowed individual innovators to prototype natively on Qualcomm's Dragonwing silicon for the first time. This created a seamless new workflow. First, individual developers build and validate their concepts entirely within the open Arduino ecosystem. Next, those same developers train their machine learning models natively via Edge Impulse integration. Finally, when it's time to go to market, enterprises scale and manage those production fleets via Foundries.io, closing the loop. By controlling the tools at the earliest phase of ideation, Qualcomm ensures their silicon is baked into next-generation robotics before a formal sales cycle even begins. This completed three-tier M&A architecture turned Qualcomm into an entirely different mechanism. By flooding the grassroots developer ecosystem with accessible Dragonwing chips, they mounted a direct, calculated assault to flank NVIDIA in the robotics developer kit market. And this robotics push is happening at the exact same time as their NVIDIA-powered war against Intel and AMD in the PC space. By 2026, Qualcomm had integrated these disparate acquisitions into a framework capable of taking on 3 distinct technology monopolies at once. This raises an obvious strategic question. Will Qualcomm inevitably close off Arduino's open-source ecosystem and cannibalize its value? The answer is no. Qualcomm explicitly committed to silicon neutrality, intentionally continuing to support rival microcontrollers from companies like ST Microelectronics and NXP on the Arduino platform. Preserving community trust acts as a Trojan horse. It subtly proves to developers that Qualcomm's higher performance chips are the superior upgrade path for heavy AI workloads, without ever forcing the issue. Connectivity has moved beyond the boundaries of the smartphone to power a sprawling network of vehicles, robotics, and edge servers. The acquisitions from 2021 to 2026 show that Qualcomm is no longer waiting around for the next smartphone cycle. They are actively dictating the hardware and software architecture of the intelligently connected world.